Hello, how everybody doing? Today we're here on Elephant Madness TV with one of my big bros.
Oh, this is Elephant Madness.
Yeah.
Okay.
We're on Elephant Madness TV with one of my big brothers that actually mentored me throughout the music thing I do up here in Alaska and showed me a lot of work that I participated here thanks to him. How you doing today, Ozzy?
I'm doing good. It's good to be on Elephant Madness.
Yes.
You know, hopefully, yeah, we're gonna be big like that. You know, we're gonna do it big like that, big like an elephant. Yeah.
We have Ousman Jarju, movie director, have directed a lot of movies from Gambia, actually coming from movies like Calabas, movies like Under the Sun, Darkness Under the Sun,
Darkness Under the Sun,
and
yeah.
Mobet, which I actually is one of my favorites that I have watched. Today we'll be going and knowing much about Ousman Jarju and his journey, because he's a very important person when it comes to filmmaking in the Gambian industry. And not only the Gambian industry, he's been making a lot of moves outside Gambia, from when I moved here to Alaska to Seattle. So today we would love to hear the journey. Tell us a little bit about how you started back in Gambia, where you're from. We want to hear your journey throughout this industry.
Well, yeah, ordinary guy, you know. I consider myself, I describe myself as a Taliban, you know, a rebel.
When you say Taliban, explain to the people that, because some people are going to be watching this and they do not understand the local language a little bit.
I mean, a Taliban in the sense that I have a spiritual guide. Yeah, I have a source that guides my spirit. Yeah, and connecting to my connectedness to that source is why I consider myself a Taliban. And a Taliban is like it's from the word talib, which is just somebody that is a student, a learner. So I'm a learner, you know what I mean?
Definitely.
and I feel I'm connected to a source that directs me in this journey that I am on. Yeah, so.
I know you already said you're a spiritual person. Tell me.
I'm not sure if I'm a spiritual person, but I'm connected to a source that directs me spiritually.
Yeah. Spiritually.
Yes.
So
I'm not sure I'm there yet.
It's a kind of saying you are free being, you kind of a Rasta. I guess that's what classifies as a Rasta is, if I'm not wrong.
No, you're wrong.
I'm very.
That's good too.
So I'm curious when you said you are guided by the spirits, because some people, when they hear spirits, they think of things like haunted. But I want people to understand mostly like when you say Taliban and stuff like that.
I mean, honestly, it is not my duty to make anybody understand right now in this moment. And if there are other people who are curious about what I'm saying, it is your responsibility to research and
and know more about it.
But in this instance, this is really, yeah, we can just stop at the surface of it, surface level of it.
So
you know.
tell us, we want to know your background. Where is Ousman Jarju from?
I am from Kusamai.
Kusamai.
Yeah, that's in Foni.
In Foni.
Right? My wife is laughing. My wife is laughing on the side.
So was you born there?
No, I wasn't born in Kusamai,
okay.
But that's my roots.
Tell us, give us a little background about that.
About Kusamai?
Yeah.
Yeah, my parents, my dad is from Kusamai originally, you know, and my great grandparents like Burdor and all, they're from Kusamai. So that's my root. That's where though I'm not directly born there, I'm probably not that connected to Kusamai, but that's my root. That's where I'm from. Yeah.
So I would like to know, so in Gambia mostly, growing up I don't know if back in those generations, I know most people are into soccer and football.
Yeah.
And also either football or not many things. So what was Ousman Jarju doing back in the days? What were some of the things he was into growing up?
So I grew up in Kanifing, cut between Kanifing Estate, Kanifing Layout, and that's really where I was shaped and formed, I would say. You know, that's where I have family, friends, and people. So yes, growing up, a lot of soccer, a lot of football.
Football.
Because like our house was directly opposite a football field. So it's just a matter of just out of the house, cross the road, and right, Yangtze Field.
Yeah.
So that's what we did every day. Yeah, sometimes you play like 3 games in a day. So playing football was really a huge part of my life. I think at some point, really, I thought football was the thing that I was going to do. Yeah, in my life. Yeah, definitely.
I know many people back then. In Gambia, it's mostly football dominates the place. I don't see many people playing basketball in Gambia.
I think that's because, honestly, I know some, especially when I was in high school, some guys who were really good at playing basketball. But in Gambia, we don't have a lot of the infrastructure for basketball or any other games besides football. The thing about football is easy because really, when you have the ball, you can play. All you need is the ball. You know, you can somehow. So take hair fee, hamga pose, hamga man, you can play anywhere. But with basketball, you need a lot of gear and infrastructure.
Would you say that is one of the reasons why African countries gravitate towards soccer?
Possibly, I think it's one of the reasons. I believe it's one of the reasons.
Now thinking of it,
because playing football is a lot easier for us. You don't need all the gear. If you have, like I said, if you have a ball, you can play football.
That is very. What are some other things during the time you was growing up in Gambia that people were into?
When I was growing up, football was something that we were into a lot. Personally, for me as a kid, growing up, myself, my friends, one thing that we were good at was we were good with our hands as well. So we used to make a lot of, like toy cars using just whatever wire we can find or whatever, metal we could find.
Was you one of the kids
and
that
then
would break down the fridge and walk with the back of it? Ferrari.
Yeah, we look for Ferrari, wherever you can find Ferrari, and just tie things using like pig milk, potty milk, as wheels. Or you can find like a slipper and then cut it around, use it as wheels for the car. So we are good at some of those things, Yeah. So on the streets, you'll be riding your toy car, one that you made yourself, or you'll have like this big tire, sometimes,
rolling the tire.
Rolling the tire.
Imaginary
car.
So
those were things we did. Back in the day, even if you have a toy, you really have to walk that toy. You have to put in the sound effect. You have to make sure you move the toy yourself, like, you know what I mean?
Okay.
Because the toy is not going to do anything.
Anything.
So if you want to play with the toy, you really have to do the heavy lifting for the toy to be interesting, right? Yeah.
So would you say those are some of the things that gravitated you towards art?
I didn't think about it like that, growing up. But later on, right now, when I kind of sit and, in retrospect, yes, I think those are some of the way I played as a kid. It really shaped, my art. It allowed me to be imaginative. It allowed me to be creative.
So would you say growing up in places like the Gambia, right, and not having the ability to have those toys, like toys that you can have remote controls and stuff like that you have to imaginarily think of it. How would you say that gives you an upper advantage now that you have those abilities and was able to use them?
I wouldn't say that, because looking at the trajectory of the world now, with technology and how great technology is for most people, I would say it's probably not an advantage to not have those things. Now you want to have those things because that's really where the world is, right? But I think personally I appreciate coming from a background like that, because it's really opened up the world for me. I think, it allowed me to imagine things that are not there, right? And be able to create something from nothing, allow something to exist where nothing was. and I think it really shaped me in many ways as an artist.
What would you say was your favorite subject back in school?
Oh, back in school, I especially when I was in high school, I loved literature. In English, yeah, literature was. I was surgical with that. Yes, I think I was. I mean, yeah, I was really good. I was really good at literature.
So going through school, which school did you attend in Gambia?
I attended Danso.
Danso Potikama.
Mohammed Jah actually went to Danso. Don't mess with Danso.
Oh, okay.
Haruna Dano went to Danso. So Danso is actually great. What are you talking about? Yeah. So I went to Danso and then LK.
Okay.
Yeah. LK Larikuna. And then St. Augustine's.
Okay.
Yes.
Man, your first two schools was was very questionable. Very.
That's messed up though. But
if you went to Danso and LK, please do not attack me. I loved dancing at LK. I did during my fural days.
Let me tell you why Danso is so great. Right? Danso was a really big school, like really big. Okay, you have like, I don't know how many students were in that school, but it was a big a big school. So imagine a big school like that, you know, accepting all these kids in around that neighborhood of, you know, Lajikunda, Serekunda, you know, all these kids coming to that school. I think,
Definitely.
you know, and it was relatively cheap, I think, to go to that school.
Yes,
you know, compared to the other schools that were around. So, looking at the kind of resources that the school was operating on, versus the number of students, you know, the huge number of students that were in the school, I think the school did pretty good.
Very well. I even think of this nowadays that if you look at the statistics on people that went to schools like government schools and you look at them now versus people that went to private schools, you will notice the people that went to government school have a stronger hustle than the people that went to private schools, in my opinion, from what I can see, because I feel like it's the way they mingled in school and had to maneuver through this amount of students versus the private school students that had one-on-one. I went to private school myself, so I can see some of those things.
Right.
What are your thoughts on that?
I don't know. So some of those things are neither here nor there. You know, like it just really depends. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I see your logic. You know what I mean? I see your logic. But it's not always like that. You know, I know some people who went to private school, and you know they're very sweet. I mean, like my boy, like Wagan, for example. Wagan went to Marina. You know what I mean? But Wagan is actually very street smart. You know.
Yeah, Wagan.
He will take this as me giving it. I'm not giving you credit, but he's street smart. You know what I mean? And he went to Marina. He went to you know.
Definitely. I guess that plays a part.
But I understand your logic. I understand your logic, and there might be some amount of truth in that as well.
Definitely. So tell us, growing up in Gambia, while you was doing stuff, who are some of your mentors that was popping back then that you guys look up to, or you would say majority of the people in the country look up to?
It depends on what exactly. Like I know when it comes to like me doing art, you know, like painting and drawing and some of that, it's qualified. You know, Milayan.
Who's qualified? Just a little brief.
Yeah, you're too young maybe. But qualify is, you know, he lives in Canning Estate, you know, and wonderful guy. He's like a father to me. In fact, there are some people say that I kind of look like him. But he's an artist. You know, he does sculptures and painting and all of that. You know, he used to have a lot of doves at his house. Like, interesting guy. You should really, in fact, when you go to Gambia again, maybe you should probably try to interview him. Because he's still out there.
Qualified.
Yeah. He's a major
Would you
artist.
say he was somebody that influenced you in the art, or was you already into it before you?
I think I've always had the talent, you know, that natural talent in me. But just being around him, seeing him do it, he used to do like rough sand paintings and sculptures and all that. So, and I used to spend a lot of time at his studio, which he had at his house there on B Block, kind of thing. So just watching him do it and all that, that allowed me to also kind of improve my own skill. And sometimes I will ask him questions about one thing or the other, and then he would show me how he's doing it. So that was really good to see.
When would you say you notice that, okay, I am really good at art, this is something I see myself having as my professor in the future?
I think it's always been there. Yeah, it's always been there. Even when I was in like as early as primary 3 or so, teachers from other classes would come and call me to go to their classes to draw something on their board. Let's say they're doing, I mean, not really important things. Maybe they're learning about, for example, a tree. So I'll just go and use a chalk and kind of do a sketch of a tree on things like that. So I did things as early as primary 3 or
That's
so.
so school. Send teacher, yaga no munuñ draw it. That's so school. When you
Draw like it's not that serious.
That's wow. That's great. That means
So I knew that that was there, very early on. Yeah.
Tell me one or two of your proudest moments that you have in school that you remember. You know, in school we all will have those proudest moments that everybody is kind of seeing of what we're doing and they are proud of it. Tell me one of those moments and how that went for you.
The one that came to my mind, like directly, the first one that came to my mind really is, this was in high school, my last days in high school, speech and prize given day, and I received 11 prizes.
Wow.
But it's not about the prizes. The important thing for me was my foster mom was there. And that was the first time she was like at my school,
to see what you were doing.
Yeah, so that was a very proud moment for me. Yeah, it was a good feeling. Yeah.
Wow, that's nice.
Yeah.
So
just seeing the joy in her face, seeing her being so proud that that's my son. I think that kind of that was
this is what I was waiting for.
I made this woman proud. I made my mom proud. I think that was good. It was a good feeling. Yeah.
Take us through how a life of somebody graduating in school, you at that time just finishing high school. What are some of the activities or some of the things you guys would do at that moment?
Like
how is that?
When we were getting up, finishing high school, if I tell you that I was clear about what I was going to do, I'll be lying. I just had some blurry ideas about what the world after school looks like, after high school looks like. I mused over the ideas of going to the University of the Gambia, which I did at some point, but after a semester I dropped out.
You dropped out?
Yeah. And but what we did was, me and several of my friends, we formed a youth organization called Youth in Development and Change. And that's really what we immersed ourselves in. And of course, doing a lot of learning through youth work and advocacy, doing a lot of writing. That's where we learned how to write like project proposals. That's also where I even learned to write scripts for stage and direct people to act, and because our literature teacher, English and literature teacher, Mr. Osas, was one of the guys that was mentoring us after high school, and we formed a youth organization. He was somewhat part of it, and teaching us how to do things, teaching us how to do drama, teaching us how to move on stage, how to also kind of maintain your character, which I think require a lot of discipline. How do I have a character? How do I play a character and then stay disciplined to play in that character? making sure that I stay within that character. It takes a lot of
discipline,
to
do that.
right?
Because sometimes your body would tell you, let me
do something. Should I do more? Yeah. But then no, you just have to stay in that character, stay in that moment, and also not be carried away by, let's say, the audience's reactions, or somebody in the audience says something, but just stay that focus. Yeah. Wow. So theater also teaches that, and it was good to be part of that movement, you know.
So during those times, tell us how was equipment and using stuff, like how was it for you guys? Did you guys have all the resources you guys needed to perform?
I mean, at the time, it was really, at some point we used to meet at St. Teresa's. You know, at the basketball lawn, and we just come. People sit over there and just maybe draw something and say, okay, this is going to stage banging. This is going to be the stage. And
say
we didn't. Nobody cared about too much. You know, we just wanted to do stuff, and yeah.
So that was the start of it in Gambia. So after that, what are some other stuff that you was involved in?
We did youth in development and change for a while. I mean, for a long time actually. You know, doing shows at Alliance Franco.
So Alliance Franco has been there for a very long time.
Long before Iraq. Long before that. You know, we were acting at Jama Hall a lot. We used to get hired by, you know, like the UNFPA or UNDP, the UN systems, and we toured with the vice president back in the day.
Wow,
around
the country.
Yeah, it was.
Around the country.
Around the country, it was not just all the way to Basel.
How was that experience?
It was great because it allowed us to be familiar with the interior of the country. You know, you meet other people from other parts of the country, and there were also a bunch of other musicians at that time who were in Gambia that were also part of the trip, like Maslavi and all of that, were there, the army band back in the day.
Wow. So that's very different, man. That must be a very great experience to have to go and see all of that. I can imagine having to do that back in Gambia.
Back then, yeah, it was good. It was good.
So would you say back then, somebody that's doing entertainment, art, or some type of drama, would you say you would be able to have enough money to sustain a living or take care of your family or build a house from that?
No. I mean, even now, it's. I mean, it's gotten better, I think, but even now, it's difficult because back then, really, we could do all of that because we were young. Virtually no bills, you know, nothing. So you could pretty much just do stuff. So, and for me as a young person, the way that I viewed life, I believe, was just trying to open myself up to experiencing as many things as possible. You know, allow myself to just do as many things that I thought were good as possible. Yeah. Allow myself to learn as much as possible. And putting myself in all these situations of acting and, you know, traveling around the country, you know, I think it allowed me to really experience so much. And every one of these experiences is a moment to learn one or two things. And I think that's a good thing. But in terms of really earning and living from it, not really. Back then, even those who were like, I believe were bigger in terms of being actors or filmmakers or so, but I don't think they were making a living off of it. Yeah. They were just following a passion, or maybe there was some form of hope. You know, hope that, okay, this thing is gonna get better. But even today, you know, entertainment in Gambia doesn't necessarily put bread and tea on your table. I mean, not for everyone. I believe
you have few people like
I believe there are. I believe there are a few people who are like really earning a decent living from all of that. But it's not that way for everybody. In fact, for most people, it doesn't. Yeah, but I'm sure there are people that you can count. Some musicians probably, maybe producers that you can count who are hopefully making a decent living from the art. And that is good. That is a good thing because part of what we did coming up, really, I used to direct Fila.
Oh wow.
Okay, and back in the day, Fila was the largest, in my opinion, the biggest entertainment show on Gambian TV.
And you guys used to be part of the people.
I used to direct that.
Wow.
Myself. Yes. Xmail was presenting. Wagan used to be one of the executive producers with Haruna Drame and all the Black Links.
What was the organization it was on? Was that on the TV?
No, it was being aired on the TV.
But you guys have your own production.
But we are doing the production, Mediamatic and Black Links.
Who that consists of Wagan and...
Yeah, Black Links, you have Wagan, X, and their whole crew. And then you have Mediamatic, myself, of course. Aruna is the owner of Mediamatic, Aruna Drame, and the whole crew. We used to work together on
Did
film.
that kind of come about like all of you guys coming together and saying, hey, we're gonna build this, or was it just one person's idea and brought everybody along?
Oh man, the way Fila came about, and the details of this might not be 100% accurate because it's a long time, so I may not remember everything, just in case something. No, just to put it out there. Yeah. But the way I remembered it, we did it when Flexman released his album Degluma Deglungamba. Oh, sorry, Degluma Degangamba. That's the name of the album. We did a short documentary for it, which I worked with him with Ibrahima Bari or something. He worked for the GRTS for his show. And after that thing aired, we thought, man, this is really cool. What if we could have like a show on TV that is like that? So I don't know who approached who, but I know we talked together. Wagan, X Miles, myself, Flexman, and then we are thinking about, an all Gambian TV show that we could do. And then we were just throwing ideas, writing concepts back and forth, and all of that. And okay, wow, sikano. And part of during that process, X Miles was also working on some things. And when we looked at the documents that he was working on, one of the segments for what he was working on was called Fila. So we're like, yo, wait, that name could actually be good for the name of the show. Yeah, and that was it. And X Miles was presenter, I was director.
So it all came in the creation.
Yeah. Flexman did the logo for it and all of that, and the rest is history. But you will realize that. But then they were also doing the open mic. The festival and also the monthly open mics. So bringing all those elements together, it was a whole movement. But back then, it's only people who love Gambian music that were listening to Gambian music. It's because, okay, you love it. It wasn't a cool thing. Gambian music wasn't like cool. Honestly, it wasn't.
It wasn't embraced like this.
No. You probably would play it. Each radio station would probably play it once a week. They'll have let's say on a Saturday, 6 to 8. That's the Gambian music segment. Yeah. And then of course it was big with DJ Mo, who was on West Coast Radio. But Gambian music wasn't big because it wasn't like that. But now you can pretty much tune the radio any time of the day, and you will hear some Gambian music, because Gambian music now is the cool thing inside Gambia. But Gambian music wasn't cool. I've been to shows where like you have a Gambian artist on stage and some people are pissed. Wow. Yes,
so it was
yes.
Actually, they was not motivated.
No, that's not even a long time ago. Okay, what brought about the change? And anybody I challenge anybody. I don't care who it is. What brought about the change? For people to really embrace Gambian music the way it is right now, is open mic, Black Links, Fila. Of course, not just that, but this is like, there are like DJ Mo was playing Gambian music for. But I'm just saying, this is the movement that really revolutionized the way Gambian music is perceived inside Gambia.
I will agree to that from what I have seen, because open mic is one of the events I think all the artists used to look up to. It's something that the community, everybody in Gambia know, okay, this is their time. It's like homecoming.
Like everybody want to keep grinding, keep walking, because at the end of the year you want to be rewarded with being on that open mic stage. That was the big thing. That's I mean, look at all the big names that you will count right now. Most of them, they've been through that stage when they weren't big.
Definitely. I think
you know what I mean.
I think open mic is the ones that now that I think Pa Jawara and them are kind of implemented as best of the best.
Yeah, I mean, you can.
I think the same formula they took.
Yeah, could be the same. Could be the same formula.
It's actually the same formula.
Could be the same formula, because you bring about 12 or so Gambian musicians on one stage, right? But then it wasn't just about organizing a show, making money and all. There was a lot of strategy that used to go into it. There was a lot of thought that went into it,
Wow.
Yeah, so that's the thing with the music. The thing that revolutionized Gambian music is really, open mic festival, Feel a TV show, and all that movement, all of it coming together. And like I said, it wasn't just people organizing shows and all that. A lot of thought, strategy, and ideas went into it. And these are ideas about building. It's not an organized show where like makes a halis, everybody collects, everybody collects their bags and leave. No. The next day when we wake up, we are grinding,
So would you say it's a non-stop?
No, it was a non-stop movement, because every day we are creating something. We are taking our cameras and going into the neighborhoods. Let's say you are an artist, we come to your neighborhood. What are you doing in your neighborhood? How connected are you with your people around your neighborhood? What do you do in the studio? How do you create your songs? What are your thought processes? So Gambians were not only hearing the music, but now they are seeing these artists at a personal level. So now they understand what these people go through to create what they create. And that's how that connection, that's how they started building that connection with the artist, to an eventual appreciation of the art.
Wow, that is very interesting. Yeah. It's that's why I like having this conversation, because it gives people a little bit of the history of how the music came about. And back then, when the music wasn't all, what would you say is different back then that is not being done? Or if you was to go back, what would you change?
If I were to go back, what would I change?
Yeah, because right now we would all agree that Gambian music is at its highest level.
Yeah, possibly.
When it comes to Gambians being involved in the sound, and everybody starting to support, to me it got to the level of like politics in Gambia now.
Yeah.
You have different people selecting sides. What do you think?
I mean, for me, if there was, this is more like a wish than anything I want to change. My wish would have been for us to have a connection, an interconnection of the generations. When we talk about the 60s, the 70s, they talk about how Gambian music was big with the Ifam Bondis and all of that, those groups, Super Eagles and stuff.
I love the Super. I think the Super Eagles don't get much love.
Yeah, and then during our before, I guess let me say my time and all that, there was, let's say, the Born Africans and how to call it, dancehall masters and all of that. But you realize that there is no connection between, those who were doing music in the 70s to that generation. But also, I don't see any connection, any significant connection between that generation of the Born Africans and dancehall masters with, let's say, the generations of the Singates and the Olugandas and the Jalexes. I don't see any significant interconnection there. But also, I don't see any significant interconnection between that generation of the Jalexes, the Singates, and the Olugandas with now the generation of, the Jizzles and the people that you have right now.
I would say, would you say?
So if at all there was like that, usually it's like, okay, they are no longer, they're out, they're not doing this anymore.
Yeah.
And then we start fresh completely. But wouldn't it be beautiful if, like, let's say all those, those from the era of the born Africans, we still have people who are doing music actively, recognized and still respected. Okay, you come to the era of the singers and you have people who are still doing. I mean, I'm not saying not all of them are out of it. Some of them are still doing. But I'm just saying, like, that generation was still active and respected and recognized, and then connected to what's happening right now. Wouldn't that be a beautiful thing?
That would be. Would you say that there's a lot of fight in it?
I don't know. Looks like it.
No, from what you
I mean, you have all these petty beefs going on left, right, and center about this, about that. You know what I mean? I mean, it looks like there is.
You know, when you go to other countries, you have. Let's just use our neighbors for example, Senegal.
Yeah.
You will have artists that are like, probably in those generations that if you ask them, their people of now probably still know them and still follow the traditional sounds that they do. But I don't see that same love for Gambians. Even me, I've been hearing this for a long time and I've witnessed it with my own eyes, even when I was younger.
Yeah.
When Senegalese, let's say for example, July 4th, when Senegalese come to July 4th, I have went to one show myself, I still remember this. I was in high school this day. Jarju was the Gambian artist that got selected to come perform. Yeah. He got fans.
Where was this?
In Atlanta, July 4th.
Okay.
Gambians got up, few Gambians got up and danced. It was nice, beautiful music. But I also sat down and watched this. And also, right when the Senegalese act came on,
the whole erupted.
The whole crowd go crazy.
Yeah.
And if you check the percentage of Senegalese and Gambians in the building, Senegalese won't even have 10%. So that told me, even at a young age, that wow, our own people are against our own people. So that's why I like the fact that this generation is taking the time. I think the people also play a part of it. I'll partially blame the people, Gambian people somehow, because if you don't take charge and support your artists and show them, like we see Senegalese, they do it.
Yeah.
They show Youssou N'Dour. I'm in the 10th grade in America here, opening the history book and seeing Youssou N'Dour back there.
Oh yeah.
Why can't I open the same page and see Jaliba Kuyateh back there? Those are some of the things. So in my opinion, it's like it's something they've been fighting each other. The only person I see
the thing about Gambia also, Gambian generally, you know what, we kind of belittle each other. And it's okay. That's because, in my view, it's because, we all meet on the same Caraba Avenue strip.
Yeah.
Understand? I know your house, I know where you live, I know your dad, I know your mom, I know, where you sleep, I know what you eat for lunch.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So nobody respects anybody at the end of the day, because, like they say, proximity breeds contempt. When people are way too close to you, that style element diminishes somehow.
Yeah. I feel like when people have too much of you,
they have way too much access. You can pick up your phone and call pretty much anybody you want to call.
Even money, if we had it all, everybody can pick it up anywhere. People probably wouldn't value it.
You can't value it. So that's the thing, because we all just on Caraba Avenue and we get all the time, so nobody cares.
Wow,
but it shouldn't be like that, but unfortunately that's just the way it is.
What do you think about the new generation of music, this generation? What are your takes on it?
I think they're doing pretty good in terms of, doing the music that they're doing, and I think they have really, really huge following, fandom, and that is good. That is good. But I also think they should be careful not to mess it up by just focusing, by being petty. You know what I mean? By just the pettiness of it, fighting here and there, arguing over nothing. These are some of the things that can really screw you. It's going to be a lot of negative energy. And where you have a lot of negative energy, it's difficult to make real progress. I remember Jollof man used to say, Gambia, ñun bari lewuñ ba pare di wàññi. Yeah, that's a really deep statement. We have too little, but we're still trying to reduce. You know, instead of building and growing and moving forward, you know what I mean? We're just trying to reduce. We're just trying to pluck people off. We're just trying to take things off the little that we have. We don't even have.
Do you think the same
so we
trend
have
that
to
was
build.
back in the day is still continuing as today?
I believe some amount of it is still continuing. You know, we have so in as much as we are making progress, we have to be cautious not to really destroy it entirely. You know, I think we should continue building and continue connecting with people, you know, through our stories, through our art.
Let me ask you this question. I feel like a lot of people, I even been curious about this. Out of Gambia, who you think is a bigger artist, Jizzle or ST? This is, and I'm asking for your opinion, not for what anybody else thinks.
I pass.
You're gonna pass that
I pass.
one out. If you ask me, yeah, I'm very curious on that question.
I pass.
What
do you think? What do you think?
I have an answer. Okay. I think in the Gambia, there's no even debate. ST is a bigger artist.
In
but
Gambia.
Out of the Gambia too, I think there shouldn't even be a debate right now. Jizzle is.
Yeah. Okay.
That is my, and Kozo, ST, if you're hearing this, I'm still waiting for my future. So this don't
It's not a diss.
Okay. Baba,
I mean, that's a good. But your boy is cold and he wants to leave. Oh, somebody's calling. Oh, okay. We're out here in Alaska. You see the
By
mountains
the way,
over
if
there.
you
So
guys don't know,
it's cold.
If you don't know, it's really cold out here.
Yeah.
It's very cold. We are
That's why,
surrounded
like,
by-
I'm sniffing all over the place.
I'm
like.
pretty sure they can see me doing this. And I came out here with shorts. Look, mountains behind us.
Yeah, it's really cold.
Before we go, I want people to know, or some people already know, because you have done some stuff in Gambia that I look at even seeing here as, wow, this is crazy. You might not even know it, but you motivate us, even me in general, a lot. Even when I came up here, you are the one that showed me around this place, took me to bands. I remember when I wanted to do a song with Maldun Mani, you were the first person that added me. You like, yo, Speedy General, we're gonna add you as a guest artist on the flyer. And by the way, if you don't know, the reason why they call me Starboy Ibrahima today, he plays a part in it. One day I remember we were sitting down, he said, boy Speedy, you see yourself calling yourself in 10 years Speedy General? Speedy General. So I laughed it off. I went home. I sat down, I thought about this. So I started finding names. That's how Starboy Ibrahima came up. By the way, he contributed to me changing in that. So you can already see how influential he is in stuff.
Oh, man.
So
I'm a mess.
We've seen you've been part of many events. I have even watched you go back home and done movies from creating. You could have gone back home and create any movie you wanted to create, but you touched based on something that is needing awareness in the society and community. I'm talking about the Mobet movie.
Yeah.
It was something that I watched and was like, wow, I'm watching this from somebody. I know the person who directed this, and it's talking about something that is very needed to be touched on in the community, and I feel like everybody appreciated it. Tell me a little bit about how some of those stuff came about.
Yeah, with Mebet, like how Mebet happened, I was just going through, you know, my wife, she blogs, you know, she writes stories and stuff like that. So I was just going through her blog. This was before even we got married.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it was back in the day when I was like,
You were speaking on the Instagram, on the DMs.
yeah, you know, just going everywhere. Okay. So yes, I was just reading stories through her blog. I read every story on that blog, man. So I just came across that title called A Mother's Plea. And when I saw it, I read through the story. I'm like, oh shit, this could actually be a movie, because the story was deep. But then as I read it, I could actually also just picture everything. I could have all these vivid images running through my head. And I'm like, this could actually be a movie. And I told her about it. I'm like, hey, this story could be a movie. I think we could do a movie of it. And she was like, let's do it.
Wow.
You know, so I just went, read the story, just got parts, and I started, you know, just doing like the screenplay. And that was it. The rest is history.
Wow, so
Yeah.
so this all started with your wife's script that you read randomly
Yes, just randomly on her blog.
on the blog?
Yes, the story is probably still there on the blog. Yes, just
Wow,
randomly like that.
I would not, that is a very interesting way of starting a movie.
Yeah, and when we did it, when we wrote the story, the script and everything, we thought, okay, maybe we could find funding and stuff to do it, but we couldn't have any funding. So we funded it ourselves. We put our own money in it. Got some of our friends who were really generous. They came out helping for free. You know, I contacted STS Pictures. You know, he came on board. He didn't charge me a dime. It was, bro, let's do it. You know, so that's just the power of collaboration. People coming together and then doing stuff. And it was a really beautiful experience.
So I know he's called and he wanna go, but tell us what motivated you to say, okay, I'm gonna just get up and jump and leave USA and go to Gambia? Because people like me even are now thinking of doing moves similar to that. So what was your thought process during that time?
Oh, it was easy. It was it was very easy. Even when we were doing the latest one, Sira, I had to like go away for like 4 months, and people, oh, what are you gonna do with bills and stuff like that? I mean, for me, when it comes to really my art, I will make any sacrifice necessary. Yeah. If it has to do with my art, I will make any sacrifice that is necessary for me to see it through. And when I'm about to start a project, I think about it from A to Z, from start to end. That's how my brain works. And I know when I started, I just don't want to do it half-heartedly, halfway, and then it's not finished, it's not done, or there's something missing. So I come out saying that I'm gonna go this amount of time and I'm gonna do it from A to Z, from A to Z. So my focus, my energy, everything goes towards that during that period.
Nice.
You know, the last one when we did it, we went and stayed in Makati Island for like about a month.
Wow, that must be great.
You know, where 90% of the cast, members of our cast, never acted before.
That must be very difficult.
I mean, at least never acted on camera.
Camera before.
Yes.
Wow.
I mean, it's hard, it's challenging, but I love those things. Because those things for me, they're deeper. You're not just coming there to make a movie, but you're also touching people's lives. You know, you are interacting with people, giving them an experience that they've never had before. But while you are giving them that experience, you are also gaining such an experience that you've never had.
Never had.
You know, so that exchange is deep, it's beautiful, you know, it's remarkable. The memory of it lasts forever.
That is very nice.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking of the same, like, so I'm pretty sure it's something that people think of, but it's difficult for them in their mind.
It's hard. It's hard.
To just
don't get me wrong. It is hard to just say, okay, I'm gonna put a pause on my life in the US and go to Gambia for an extended period to do one or two things. It's hard for anybody. It's hard for anybody. Yeah.
So how would you see? How did you see? Give us some differences.
You guys can come over if you need to come here. It's fine. Yeah, being nosy is a good thing. You will learn one or two.
Oh, we're doing an interview.
You may not learn anything too, but but you'll get to know what we're just shooting, and you are in it right now. No, it's okay. It's okay. It's okay. It's not a problem. It's just a free thing. We're not trying to be
just float around anyhow.
We're not trying to go crazy with rules and all of that stuff.
Just float around. It looks nice.
Find this, but we can't seem to find any.
Oh, you haven't seen any. Where are you guys from? Are you from here?
Arizona.
Arizona. Okay.
Where are you from?
Once upon a time I lived in Alaska for over 5 years,
Yeah.
and about 5 years ago I left and I just came back to visit this time around. I'm in Seattle. Originally I'm from Gambia, West Africa. All of us. Oh, he was actually born in Alaska? Yeah.
Yeah, I was born here.
Oh, he's like you weren't. Why do you think? Why do you say he wasn't?
Nah, he aired me out.
Why do you think he wasn't?
Because I heard an accent and I didn't
See?
No, being born here doesn't mean he lived here all his life. He was born here, but he was sent back home.
If you was gonna guess where I was from, where would you say?
They always guess America, Jamaica. No?
Huh.
No.
Say it freely.
Sudan.
Somalia?
Somalia? You think? I think I'm too dark to be Somalia.
You could pass for the Somalian. Although they have some really dark Somalians.
Yeah, but I think I'm too.
You're
I'll give
from
you another
Arizona.
guess. Give me another one. Where else?
Swing state.
I
Kenya?
was just there. He doesn't look like
You was just there. See? You would have never guessed that, see?
me. And I was in Uganda.
Oh, my wife will be going to Uganda on Friday.
Wow, you was in Kenya and Uganda?
What were you doing in Uganda, in East Africa?
Hiked for the gorillas in Uganda.
Yeah.
Did some charity work at the hospital in the village at the base camp. Went on safari in Nairobi. And went to Tanzania, Zanzibar.
Cool. What was that experience like for you?
Loved it.
Oh,
Loved it.
Guess what?
Huh?
You've seen more countries in Africa than me. All right. but
That's right, yeah.
Man, but that is such a experience to have to go through that and doing the filmmaking. So how is it that, how would you say, what would you say is the difference between filmmaking, doing it in Gambia and versus doing it here in America?
I think in Gambia you don't have a lot of the rules that you have here. You know, like you can in Gambia you can have a film without even doing a lot of government interference, like government, like the government structures and insurance and all of that. You know, in America you'll have to have, depending on how big your set is, and all, you have to have your insurance right. You know, you have to go through a bunch of things. But in Gambia you can pretty much show what today and
Just do it.
and just do what you need to do.
Would you advise somebody that is into this type of field and is thinking of going back home to do it? What would you advise them to get ready for before going?
Get ready for?
Yeah.
Just know that things are not going to happen the way that you planned, like the way that you imagine it
To go.
So be ready for some things going wrong, right?
Definitely.
Yeah, be ready for like a plan B, plan C, plan
always
D,
be
plan
ready to
E.
improvise on it.
Yes, but don't give up on whatever you want to do. Okay, change the strategy. Switch gear. Do whatever is necessary, but keep moving forward. Don't say, "Oh, this is too hard. I've had too many disappointments. I can't do this anymore," and then quit and leave. No.
Just keep going.
Yeah, if things get hard, if you experience disappointments, switch gear, change the strategy a little bit.
And just
Seek different partners if you have to. And that too, partner with people. Don't go out there and think that, okay, I'm from America, I know this more than this. Because some of the folks, I would say most of the folks there are way deeper and more experienced than we are.
Yes, I have noticed that.
Somebody
taught me something about this camera.
Yes,
that I did
yes,
not know for
every
the
day,
longest,
yes,
and it's
yes.
saving me.
So you have to respect that. You have to work with people and respect their art, because these people they grind for what they grind for their art. They work hard for the things that they know.
Definitely.
Yeah. So you have to respect that.
Definitely.
And find these reliable people, talented people that you can work with, partner with them, trust them, allow them to trust you, and go. A lot of times the experience is good.
Definitely.
Yeah. Listen to them. Don't go there and then you think that you have an autonomy over ideas. If you do that, they will be happy to work with you, and your chances for success would increase exponentially.
Definitely, man.
Yeah.
I love this conversation here. I know we are cool and very.
Yes, so we dey freeze here.
We too para. So what is something you would like your followers and people you continue to show different type of moves all the time, what would you want to tell them, or what do you have coming in the future, near soon?
I mean, in the future, what I envision is more movies, you know, more collaboration with people. I mean, not just movies, but also, you know, a lot of art. I want to do, you know, more art, right? And when I say more art, I mean in terms of painting and just expressing myself in different other ways through music as well.
Definitely.
But yeah, I want to do more movies and express myself more, you know, using other forms of art. But definitely more movies. You know, I'm working on some scripts here and there.
Nice.
You know, and I'm also looking at, you know, collaborating with more people, like cinematographers and, you know, designers everywhere. So it's good, you know. Recently I was in England and we shot like we did a short movie with my boy Gambino.
I've seen that.
Yeah, so
yeah,
so we want to keep all of that going.
Definitely.
You know, we just want to keep all of that.
Shout out to Gambino. It's a weekend. I like
It's the weekend. It's the weekend. No more. 5, no more. 9 to 5.
That was it, guys. That was Ousman Jarju, the filmmaker from Gambia, awesome filmmaker, and one of my mentors. Guys, I want to say thank you a lot to OJ. This was very beautiful to put together. And you guys, make sure you follow OJ on all social media. I'll be putting his social media tags in there, and Rebel Vision. Rebel. Ordinary
Rebel! Hey, by the way, me and Speedy also did a song back in the day.
Yes. And we'll be doing a new one. It's called International Love. Thank you very much. That will be it. Elephant Madness TV. Till next time, we'll be bringing you more stories and more important people from our community, from Gambia, that are in every part of the world. Right now, we're in Alaska. Look at the background. It looks nice, beautiful, mountains, everything. Love.